Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs into the minds of the guest and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It will addresses no issue. It sees no sacred. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another. It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guest and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It addresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another.
Good afternoon and a pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program. Nothing to hide on Sky 107.1. My name is Matthias Labindi, welcoming you on this Thursday's edition of Nothing to Hide. Today is the 17th day of June 2021. Welcome. This afternoon, we're going to be talking about academic fraud. You know, the effect it has on a society, on the person who gets involved in academic fraud, the institution, as well as the person's contribution to society. Should they leave with the mindset that they have graduated, but in reality they did not, but they got involved into some academic fraud? In fact, academic fraud cannot be committed by one person. There are many people that take part. So we're going to be using the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University as a case study. So we have a press release from the university, and it's going to be giving us some information from there. Martin Colley Jones made this issue earlier. In fact, the AMEZ University threatened to file a lawsuit against him when he alleged that some people did not for this Episcopal Zion University. Martin joins me on the line after reading the press release and making a few analyses. He joins us, and you two are going to be part of the program by calling in and participating, better still commenting on our live feed. We are also streaming live on YouTube, FM and TV Liberia, as well as Sky FM, Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page. My name is Matthias Labindi. I'll be right back. Nothing to hide on Sky 1.1. Today is the 17th day of June 2021. My name is Matthias Labindi, welcoming you on the program. This afternoon, we are talking about academic. What do you know about academic fraud? What is your understanding of academic fraud? What is the effect of academic fraud? The person committing academic fraud, or persons aiding and abetting academic fraud, the institution the person was in or is in doing academic fraud, the society at large, these people who get involved in academic frauds, what kind of people are they to the society? Are they dependables, or they are liabilities to the society? Martin is going to answer a few of these questions as well. My name is Matthias Labindi, and welcoming you today. Um, Episcopal Zion University released a statement outlining a number of things in line with academic fraud, taking action against 16 of its students that graduate or cum laude, but deep down you know that you did not even work for that. Why should you put yourself through all the stress of talking about this person, that person, I graduated magna cum laude and all of that? This is all these things. If you do, you're going to be hurting yourself more. But anyway, African Methodist Episcopal Zion University, 166 Benson Street, Monrovia, Liberia. Press release June 15, 2021. Ladies and I'm reading the university statement now, right? I want to read it entirely so you can get it. Campus of the African Methodist of the AME Zion University. I hope that you will enjoy your brief stay here as we seek stronger partnership with the media going forward. Thank you. Recently, to be specific, on April 22, 2021, the AME Zion University held its 30th commencement convocation, graduating and conferring degrees on 480 students from 7 colleges of the university. However, it was observed that more diploma covers were issued to graduating seniors than the actual number of students that met both academic and financial requirements for graduation. We immediately registered our observation with the academic team and instructed an investigation to ascertain why we issued more a story in the press, that particularly Daily Observer newspaper, suggesting that the AME Zion University had graduated an academic fraudster in person of Mr. Kokulu S. Bovo. The paper reported that Mr. Bovo was allegedly expelled from the AME University after it was discovered by that university that he lied, that he graduated from there. We also read in the same paper that he served as controller for allegedly presenting falsified academic credentials. Now, with this report in the media, which concerned the most, we immediately set up a broad-based technical committee to look deeper into this allegation and report for appropriate action. The committee worked for nearly a month and finally submitted its findings last week. Trust me, let me assure you that the findings submitted by the Special Investigative Committee has given us the opportunity to take necessary actions aimed at protecting the integrity of the AME Zion University. Findings on Mr. Kokolo Bovo. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are pleased to inform you that following thorough investigation by the committee, it was discovered that Mr. Kokolu S. Bovo is not and has never been a student of the Criminal Justice College of AME Zion University. Based on facts and circumstances leading to Mr. Bovo's held on April 22, 2021, with the wearing of the university's souvenirs and emblems, the degree granted him has been revoked. The university is currently working with its lawyers, and I can safely tell you that we are in the process of turning Mr. Bovo over to the Ministry of Justice and jurisdiction. Additionally, we hereby announce the suspension for time indefinite without pay 2 staff members of the AME Zion University for their involvement in the Kokolu Bovo case. They are 1. Mr. Josiah Wama, Executive Secretary, Criminal Justice College, for concealing information and for single-handedly processing the fictitiously file of Mr. Kokolu Bovo and for presenting the names of 2 students who were not academically cleared, and Mr. Danny Horton, Assistant Dean for Admissions, Records, and Registration for his role in handling Mr. Kokolu Bovo's file and for deliberate attempts to mislead the Special Investigative Committee. Others suspended are one, the Director of Technology, by the way, for time indefinite off the job without pay for inserting names of students in the souvenir program that were not academically cleared by the faculty senate of the university. Suspended the vice president for academic affairs for 2 months off the job without pay for going senate meets for clearing of students, but rather choosing to recommend to the board of trustees further indebted students, members of the Fourth Estate. It will interest you to know that 69 students that were graduated on April 22, 2021 are in arrears in tuition and graduation fees in excess of 90. The school allowed the students to owe this kind of money and yet graduated them. I want to hear fault. The fact that these students went through the university without paying tuition is even more astonishing. My God. How can we operate as a university and maintain the required standards if we allow people to come here and get educated without paying any fees? This is absolutely unacceptable. They have therefore been given 21 days ultimatum to come to the university and pay their fees. Failure to do so will leave the university with no alternative but to revoke their degrees. The AME Zion University will no longer tolerate this type of behavior. Will no longer tolerate this type of behavior. Perhaps persons within the university responsible for such breach of behavior will be weeded out. Thank you very much for responding to the invitation. May God bless the work of your hands. So as you can see, as you heard, this is the statement from the African Methodist Episcopal Zion University. I would have loved to. Martin is on the line. He's joining us from exile. Now, I prioritize Martin on this discussion because Martin raised the issue about some students from this particular university who had graduated a long time ago. Yeah. So Martin said like Finabondo, he talked about Finabondo and one Professor Wallace. So the university at the time apologized to the individuals and threatened to file a lawsuit against Martin Colley. It's yet to take that decision, to take that action, by the way, till now we're talking about 16 students. In the academic fraud, to this university to be, the best I can say is that it's vulnerable. Now, even the admission of it, you talk about she should be for her ability to do. The university is so vulnerable to an extent that how will someone graduate who did not attend class? Mr. Bova did not attend class or classes, at least maybe for a day. The criminal justice department particularly. But yet he was seen wearing gown and everything. He benefited from everything. So I think the university itself has its own problem. It needs to work on the system in ensuring that if a student gets there, you must be observed properly. There are schools here. I know for a fact, I cannot brag about the school I go to right now, but there's a system in place, serious system in place. In fact, it's one of the few universities that were, providing online courses immediately the coronavirus struck. It was challenging for students to transition from the usual face-to-face interaction with professors to online, but it was quick. At least they did it. We have 22 minutes gone, so let's talk to Martin Colley. Martin is on the line. Martin, good morning from your end. I don't know. It's morning. Is it morning or afternoon?
It's actually in the evening where I am. We're ahead of Liberia 4 hours.
Okay.
So good evening to you and your team at Sky FM. Thanks for the invite. This is a very critical topic which requires national concern. So it is good that I'm on it. as we talk about this issue, the Liberian people deserve to know the facts. Thank you, Matthias, for the invite.
Okay. Thank you so much, Martin. Martin, do you feel vindicated? Let me begin with that.
Oh, yes, Matthias. History has vindicated me. Because this very same university released a formal statement against me, specifically in July of 2020, when I raised alarm about this very same issue. Because at that time, somebody within informed me that there were a number of academic fraudsters who were trying to collude the system at the AME Zion University. So when I received that tip-off, the tip-off did not in for an administrator who is in part of the system. So I decided to raise the alarm. Initially, I raised the alarm to seek the attention of the president and the administration in its entirety of the university. So I said, I wrote on my Facebook page, academic fraudsters at AMEZU are paying 6,000 United States dollars to graduate, including the chief of protocol of the office of the president, Finabono. I raised that alarm. You know what the university did in a few weeks? They threatened me with a lawsuit. It was all in the newspaper. It was all in the newspaper. They threatened to sue me. So I challenged them. I said, let's go to court. I'm willing to prove my claim that there are academic fraudsters at the AME Zion University who are trying to graduate even though they did not attend the school or they did not attend classes. The records are there, Matthias. Today, after more than 10 months, history has vindicated me. The AME Zion University needs to apologize to me, quite frankly.
Now,
they need to apologize.
Talking about apology, Martin, you made mention of two persons at the time, if I get it right. You made mention of the chief of protocol to the president, Finabondo, and one Professor Wallace. You did not make any mention of this particular Bovo Kokolu fellow or so. The two people you spoke about, they are not in the current release that we're talking about. It means the university state maintains its position that you lied about and against those individuals. Let's now come to this issue. Maybe you can zero in on that quickly.
So let me zero in on that quickly. The university cannot maintain its claim when I had already talked about academic fraud taking place at the university before mentioning those two names. When I mentioned those two names, they decided to erase evidence on those two names. The facts are there. The time I mentioned those Finabono and this Wallace, who are involved into this quote-unquote academic fraud, there are other academic fraudsters who are trying to collude the system. But they could not listen to me. They could not listen to me. Instead, they decided to brush aside the claim I was making. So today, they are coming right back to the very same claim I made about academic fraud at the AME Zion University. This is visible fraud. A lot of those people whose degrees, quote unquote, have been revoked were never even students of AME Zion University.
Yeah,
and
Martin, that is the deception on the part of the technology guy here, the director of technology, according to the state, in a 7-year program of students that did not even sit class, that did not complete their academic, responsibilities, even financial requirements, with the university. Now, as a student, you're studying abroad, you were in exile now, you were here, you were doing very well in the University of Liberia, you came out. And so, what would you say, about this particular fellow first? Let's begin with the director of technology, who, because of his technological knowledge in certain names, let's begin with him and get to the students and get to the university and come to the nation. When these people who get involved in academic fraud, when they come to the larger society, who are they? Well, let's begin with someone who sits within the system and helps to corrupt the system.
Matthias, in my opinion, the decision of the university was not even the most appropriate decision to have been taken. How can you suspend these people have committed grave criminal offense. Under our law, Matthias, fraud is a felonious crime. It is a grave crime. It is a criminal offense. So how can you suspend 4 administrators who allow these academic fraudsters to infest your system? It makes no sense to me. They should even be expelled or purged out of the university and turned over to the Liberia National Police for investigation by now. That decision should have been taken by now. Like you said, Matthias, our system is very vulnerable to fraud, including the system at AME Zion University. Very, very vulnerable. The system is like a floodgate to accommodate fraud. That is the system in Liberia. I was at the University of Liberia, and I know the system very well. I know how it works. I know how people can take the detour to legitimize their status. And it is wrong. So I expected the AME Zion University to have expelled those administrators. They did the right thing by revoking the credentials of those academic fraudsters. All of them. I'm not saying some of them, Matthias. I'm saying all of them should be turned over to the Ministry of Justice through the Liberia National Police for investigation by now.
At the moment, Martin, let me hear you a little bit. At the moment, the university only mentioned in a statement that it is currently working with its lawyers and is anticipating forwarding Mr. Bovo Kokolu to the Ministry of Justice. And you were talking about it should be a collective action that all those that the university spoke about getting involved in academic fraud should all be prosecuted.
Exactly, because the point I'm making is this cover individual did not operate in isolation. He did not operate alone. His action was not alone. His action was facilitated. And who facilitated his action? Those administrators, those 4 administrators who have been suspended by the AME Zion University. So all of them are equally responsible. All of them are equally indictable under the law. And such precedent should be taken if AME must salvage or save its reputation, because the reputation of AME ZU is at stake. The reputation, the credibility of the university is under question right now. So in order for the university to salvage, in order for the university to redeem its lost image, the image of the university has been lost. Practically and logically, the image of the university is already lost. So in order for that image to be redeemed or rescued, some hard decisions need to be taken. As part of those hard decisions, the university need not to only penalize COFA, but also all those who facilitated this grave fraud against the image and interest of the university. Because this is a crime against society, not only AME Zion University, because had those people now been booked, those are the same people who are going to government to work. Those are the same people who are going to go to the private sector to work. So you see how the system is operating? You got a group of fake credentialists in the public service, in the private sector, undermining performance. It is because of these fake credentialists, public performance is at an all-time low because these people just don't know what to do. They did not pass through the proper channel in terms of academia. So what do they really know? They don't know anything. And I want to make this notation. I want to make this very important notation. If you go through the press statement under the Department of Management, the degree of the brother of President George Manneh Weah was also revoked.
The brother of President Weah?
Of course, his degree was also revoked. He's part of the fraud.
Oh, Wallo Weah.
He is part of the fraud. Yeah, his name is Wallo Weah.
So how did you know that because he's Weah, meaning he's related to the president?
No, I'm telling you, that's the brother of the president. He was attending AME Zion University. He recently graduated. Go on his Facebook page. His degree was revoked because he was amongst those who polluted the system. His name is Wallo Weir. Check on the Department of Management on that very same release, Matthias. Our people need to know these things. You know, so the brother of the president is implicated in academic fraud. Where's the country going, Matthias?
Let's put this in a way that the essence of one seeking education is for enlightenment, and that enlightenment should impact your society positively. And some other people to consider the fact that, why am I staying in class for so long? Remember, at some point, people consider you as the overstay. Remember one time the minister, June17, as you were leaving my studio, he was entering and he said, Mountain College overstay student, he needs to go back to UL and graduate. Don't you think some people take these shortcuts, most especially given the vulnerability of our society, so that they can fit among those that are considered as graduate, rather than being seen as someone who has overstayed in university?
Exactly. And I agree with you, Matthias. That's one of the reasons. They want to falsely impress. They want to inflate their ego. They want to self-gratify themselves at the expense of society. So they decide to take the detour or the shortcut. And whenever they decide to take the shortcut, the fundamental question here is, who is usually victimized? Are they the ones who are usually victimized when they decide to take the shortcut? Or is our society victimized? The society is victimized. Look at what is happening right now in the CDC-led government. You know why the government is not performing? The government is not performing because of fake degrees and academic fraudsters. There are too many in the we-are-led government. And we've been exposing a lot of them. We've been exposing a lot of them. It is unfortunate that the president lacks the political will to take action. The late president of Tanzania, John Magufuli, who sacked more than 10,000 public employees with fake credentials in 2015. So what I'm saying, Matthias, is we have to tighten the screws, not only at AME Zion University, but at public universities as well as other private universities. The screws need to be tightened so that these academic fraudsters who continue to commit this grave crime, which are considered as malfeasance, can be deterred. That's why we are calling for the establishment of an academic crimes code. That's the only solution to this halabalu, Matthias. That's the only solution to this halabalu in the country. Fake degrees are too many in the country. Those of you who have your legitimate credentials are being deprived from access to opportunities, including job, because of these fake credentialists. It has to stop, Matthias. The country has suffered too much from fake degrees. In this particular time and age, in this dispensation, we have to utter this national miasma. It is a national miasma for fake people to occupy public offices when those who have legitimate degrees do not have jobs. This is deprivation. So how do we solve this? The campaigners for academic crimes code have been very clear and critical about the way forward in pursuing fake credentialists. We have been very clear.
One thing you said in exile, and a lot of people, in fact, even the Zion University referred to you in their previous statement that you are a self-imposed exiled student or so. Now, you are in exile. How do you know that there are many people here in Liberia, with fake credentials, that there are too many in the government, in this current government? Is it because of some antipathy you may have against some individuals in the Georgia administration?
Now, Matthias, let me say this. You are a critical journalist, an investigative one at that. You have followed my activities, even when I was in Liberia before I fled the country into exile, specifically in December 2019. You know me, you know what I stand for. I do not hate anyone, not even President Weir. I do not hate his government. I do not harbor hatred for any of his officials. What I hate is those things. What I hate is what they are doing to our country. So I do not hate the government. You know, I have been exposing people out of government. The records are there. Go on my Facebook page. Go on my Facebook. I even exposed the current dean of the Criminal Justice Department at AME Zion University, Arthur Johnson. He has a fake degree. He has a fake degree. So you think I hate Arthur Johnson? Arthur Johnson is the dean of the Department of Criminal Justice at the AME Zion University. But his quote-unquote PhD in legal studies is fake. It's bogus. For Atlantic, for International University, AIU. AIU is a degree mill. And we provided all of our proofs. So all we are doing, Matthias, is aimed at improving the system. Do you know what we want to achieve? The first thing we want to achieve, Matthias, is academic integrity throughout Liberia. Tertiary to primary, we want to achieve academic integrity. We also want to achieve fair competition in public service, in private service as well. We want to achieve as well excellence through a merit-based system. The system needs to be merit-based. If the system is merit-based, a lot of these academic fraudsters will be caught red-handed. So what we are pursuing is in the best interest of the country. That's why we have made some recommendations. We are not only criticizing, but we are also suggesting a number of way forward.
Martin, let me ask you this. Before we get to the way forward, I want to ask you specifically about the Zion University. Do you think it is selective in its action because you've given them you've given them some information on some individuals? Now you mentioned one person who is the chief of protocol to the president, another professor, Professor Wallace as well. The university apologized to those individuals. What do you think is happening? Is it because of status or what?
You know, when I raised the alarm, the university was uneasy about the alarm I raised. So the intent was to cover up. The intent was to cover up. But Finabono's name should have been on this list. As a result of the alarm I raised, they decided to erase evidence. The records are there, Matthias. You know, I will not just raise the alarm. I just told you I got that tape off from an administrator. But because I believe in confidentiality, I cannot display or say who my source is. But the information came directly from an administrator, a senior administrator too. You know, so I'm in as how did I manage to know that people were paying money to buy a degree or to graduate from the AME Zion University? How did I manage to know? And today I have been vindicated by history. So the point I'm making is when I raised the alarm about Finabono, because Finabono knew, she was going to receive her degree in public administration. How did I manage to know all these things? When I raised the alarm initially, they said Finabono was a student. When I pushed them further, they said Finabono not in the school. Then later on, I saw them releasing statement. They released a statement, you know, denying the claim I made and even threatening to sue me. I challenged them to sue me based on the claim I made. I'm prepared to go to court and prove. Like they have exposed these other students by revoking their degrees. So the point I'm making is universities around the country need to be honest. Because education is about the future of the country. We can play politics with education. We can play politics with the education of the country. Because when we do that, we are playing politics with the country. Education is not political. Education in the context of economics, Matthias. I'm a student of economics. Education in the context of economics is an inelastic commodity. Let me say what that means. When a commodity is inelastic, it means that it has no substitute. So education has no substitute. It is an inelastic commodity. So because education is an inelastic commodity, emphasis must be placed on quality and not quantity. Education is not quantitative, it is qualitative. And this is what our people in Liberia need to know. It's not about the number of teachers you have. It's not about the number of armchairs you have. It's not about the number of courses you are offering. It is not about the number of structures or infrastructure you have. It's what you can instill in those students who have come to pursue higher education. That is what matters, quality. Because at the end of the day, those students who are graduating from your school will have to prove themselves. Will have to prove themselves. So what matters in education or in the stock market of intelligentsia is quality. That's what makes education inelastic. Education is not an elastic commodity, it is an inelastic commodity. And until we can realize and acknowledge this reality, Liberia reached a dead end. So I'm calling on the AME Zion University not to only pursue cover. Everybody should be pursued, arrested, and imprisoned for committing such grave academic crime against the AME Zion University and the state.
Martin, imprisonment could be a harsh word to use in this case, because at the moment we do not have an academic crimes code. In what context are you using imprisonment? Because somebody get engaged into academic fraud at the university, they can just settle their requirements with the university and be free, because that's what this university is requesting for.
Matthias, let's go to the law. For me, I like the law. Let us go to the penal law of the Republic of Liberia in 1976. Though we do not have academic crimes code, but the penal law of Liberia abhors or frowns on fraud. F-R-A-U-D. Fraud is a criminal offense under the 1976 penal law. Malfeasance is a criminal offense as well. Duplicity is a criminal offense. So all of these misdeeds, academic misdeeds, are criminal offenses under the penal law of 1976. So they could be charged under the penal law. They could be charged, even though we do not have. They could be charged under the penal law. Duplicity and malfeasance. The law is very clear. They are going to court to exonerate them. Since AME Zion University has all of this evidence of prima facie, they will go to court along with them to prove. And this is where we should be going. This is the direction we should be going in. I'm just encouraging the administration of the AME Zion University to be conscious and conscientious about the fact that the image of the university is at stake as a result of the revocation of the degree of these 14 academic fraudsters, as well as those administrators who facilitated such crime. So if an action that is of similar magnitude, if an action that is of similar magnitude is not taken against those academic fraudsters and administrators, AME Zion University can be assured a lot of people will jitter about attending that school. So they need to be conscientious about the consequences, the repercussions of not taking fair action in this particular matter.
Okay.
That's why I'm encouraging Dr. Latte. I know Dr. Latte very well. Dr. Latte is the president of AME Zion University. He's a very good man. He's an honest man. He's an honest man, a very good man. I know that he will pursue those academic fraudsters vehemently and vigorously in order to salvage or save the image of the university.
Martin, quickly, let me read a comment here from Mr. Batum Kula. Batum Kula says, SCAR Communications Liberia, another academic fraud are those who obtain degrees from for-profit universities like Devry, Strayer University of Phoenix, Atlantic, etc. These are schools used by working adults in the US in order to get salary increases as a result of those credentials. Those schools are prowess. Those schools are not schools to boast of academic prowess. In the US, state universities and colleges, which are non-profit, accredited institutions required the SAT and ACT and the minimum GPA to enter. Any school in the US except the Ivy League schools, which do not have those standards, are diploma mass. He went further to say academic fraud is also calling yourself doctor when you have a honorary doctorate degree. In fact, honorary degrees are to only be used between the individuals and institution which granted it. So another person here, Mounting, is opening our eyes, or other people, many people eyes to something. Mr. Kula here is saying that, you know, sometimes people go to programs, they speak, they serve our keynote speakers, and they give them, they confer upon them some honorary degrees, and they come out, they're proud to be heard, to be called doctor. Is that another fraud? Do you agree with Mr. Kula?
I just want to appreciate the contribution of Dr. Kula. I know him very well. He is an academic. He knows the rules. Some of these things. Thankfully, Dr. Kula, who resides in the US, a Liberian academic, has confirmed. He's right. A school confers honorary degree on you, and you are using that honorary degree in the public, like Dr. Kula said, the honorary degree should only be used between you and the school that conferred that degree on you.
So whenever you are going to the school, you are engaging the school in anything the school refers to you as doctor, because they confer that on you.
Exactly.
But elsewhere, you should not accept to be considered.
When you are communicating with the school writtenly, probably through letter, then you can put your doctorate degree there. Or when the school is communicating with you, they will address you as doctor because they confer that degree on you. But a lot of people in Liberia are getting doctorate degrees. A lot of people in Liberia are getting honorary doctorate degrees, and they are putting those titles on their official documents.
Okay.
Which is wrong.
Martin,
in fact, some of the people are even getting doctorate degree from Bible schools in Liberia. Like Dr. Kula said, he mentioned some of the Bukos institutions in the United States. And we've been raising these things. University of Phoenix, University, all these universities.
Martin, it's okay. I want to quickly engage your audience. We just have 10 minutes, but you talk about, you can't be laughing when you say people getting doctorate degrees from Bible schools in the country.
Of course. Nathaniel Blama, the former director of the EPA, he got his own doctorate degree from Monrovia Bio College in Pennsylvania. Can you imagine?
So he's now a doctor. So he did not actually work for it. So he's now a doctor.
No, he should not be called doctor. It's wrong. He shouldn't. He's using it on his official document, even on LinkedIn. You see how the people deceiving the country simply because our society is ignorant.
Okay.
But those of us who know the truth will expose these things and open the eyes of our people, because it is our responsibility as activists to do so.
Okay, Mounting, he's Mounting Colley. Mounting is a young Liberian activist. He's now in exile. Anywhere he is, I can't tell. He hasn't told anyone, maybe except his family members. But that doesn't matter, by the way. Let's have a conversation now. Call us on the numbers 0777 777 107 0777 221 223. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matara.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Lamini Kemoka, calling from Johnson Street.
Mr. Kemoka, go ahead.
At my workshop.
Go ahead, sir.
You know, let me say thanks to Martin K. Colley, you know, for your school safe exposure. You know, I really admire you, honestly. I take the pay a discussion on the radio all the time, honestly, to be sincere with him.
Okay.
You know, one of the things I enjoy from Martin on a particular issue is his determination for quality education in Liberia. You know, now, lot of people, you know, I want to ask Martin, who's on the gay school inform? You know, so a lawmaker can pass the bill to the house for the code that is
for the academic crimes code, right? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kemokai. Martin. Okay, let's hear from this person. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mateo.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
David Harris, my resident, this afternoon.
Mr. Harris, go ahead.
Yeah, I got two questions for Martin.
Go ahead.
My first question has to do with FINA bonus. Martin having any substantive evidence on Sinabono that she was trying to buy a degree. My next question, should our president, we are a doctor. Thank you, Matthias.
Dr. George Weah. Let's move on to another person. Call us on those numbers 07777 or 777-221-223. And the numbers you can call us on to participate. Elizabeth Cartier says, thanks, Mr. Martin K. and Colley has posed those with fake degrees or diplomas. All right. But what is even laughable with the Zion University's press statement is that more diploma covers than the people that we expected to graduate. Let's hear from this person. Hello. All right. The person left the line. Mountain, which district? Okay, let's hear from this person. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon to Brother Martin Foley.
Go ahead.
This is Hussein Samavula. I call from Brazil.
Mr. Samavula, you need to speak up, sir. You're coming in very low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matthias, I listened to Martin Foley. And you see, everything he has said is nothing but the fact. Our country is going down the drain because they place people in position who are not capable to do the work simply because they are getting some fake degree and they come down to lie to government that I obtained this degree from this place and I did this, I did that. At the end of the day, they are placed in a position they are not able to do the work.
Thank you so much.
The issue with AME Zion University is troubling, and my disappointment is mostly in the university. As a credible university, to see that the people are able to defraud you in that condition, and you are taking some lenient decision against them, it's even troubling.
Okay.
It's like encouraging them to do more.
Thank you.
I am calling from Brazil.
Let's hear you.
Martin,
you have a minute. You have a minute, please.
I want to just thank you to Martin K. for providing the level he brought to this school. It's very transparent. I just want to say thank you to him, and we'll keep following.
Okay, thank you, Martin. It's up to you now. Somebody wants to know whether the district you live, you have somebody there on the line. All right. Somebody wants to know the district you're staying so that you can prevail on your lawmaker. Begin with your district so that this academic crimes code it can be passed into law. Then we can establish that. What's your district?
Thank you, Matthias, and let me appreciate the very salient points made by our callers. This is a popular platform. A lot of people are following it. It is important for us to address their concerns. Before I could flee Liberia, I was living in district number 8, specifically on 12th Street. I was living on 12th Street, right beyond Tottenham High. And the representative of that district is more than spineless. Akaros Gray, he is another fraud. So how can a fraud fight fraud? So let me tell you what we are doing right now. We are currently working with a group of lawmakers to introduce a bill at the level of the National Legislature. They have asked us to do a concept paper. We just submitted our concept paper. And in a few weeks from now, you'll be hearing that bill being introduced at the level of the National Legislature. The intent of the bill is to ensure the establishment of an academic crimes court. Number 2, to conduct a national verification exercise from nursery to tertiary level. That verification exercise will be intended to authenticate or validate or verify of instructors, lecturers, professors at various levels. We need a national verification exercise conducted by the Ministry of Education in cohort with the National Commission on Higher Education. We have also put in that concept the need for the government of Liberia to intensify
10 seconds,
monitoring and
please.
evaluation. Because a lot of people in our classrooms, they are not qualified to be in the classroom. They are deceiving those students. Look at some of the products that are coming out of our university. They are not even qualified to compose a fitting sentence. This is a national embarrassment, Matthias. And all of us need to nip this national embarrassment in the bud.
Okay, let me just tell you lastly what Dr. Kula is saying. Mr. Batum Kula. I can't say doctor. I don't know whether he's a doctor. Mr. Batum Kula. He says we are.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He has a doctorate degree.
Okay, all right. So you confirm this one. Okay, Dr. Batum Kula is saying we should not be called doctor. That's another fraudulent use of the prefix and degree designation. Also, the fellow on a Spoon Talk. There's a fellow on Spoon Talk. One day, Cummins appear and Cummins ask him, "You have a doctorate degree?" He said, "No, that honorary degree." So Dr. Batum is saying he too should not be called Dr. Peabody, but he should be called Peabody. Please, 30 seconds, Martin. Let's wrap up.
Okay, let me address the issue of President Weah being called Dr. Weah. You know, when the University of Liberia started to confer an honorary doctorate degree on President Weah in sports management, I condemned that. At that time, I was a student leader at the university. I condemned the University of Liberia for doing so. Because the thing is, in the first place, Matthias, you cannot give out what you do not have. The University of Liberia does not offer PhD or doctorate degree. So how can you confer something on somebody
that you cannot offer? We gotta go, Martin. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, Martin.
So the point is that the President Weah should not be called doctor in the public, but when the University of Liberia is addressing him, he should be called doctor. When he's at Liberia, he should call himself doctor. Similarly, with Cottington University also conferred a doctorate degree on him.
All right,
which was wrong.
Thank you, Martin.
Cottington University does not offer doctorate degree, does not offer PhD. So why are they giving out not have? Does that make sense? Considering the context of logic, it doesn't make sense.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. We gotta go.
It is inapplicable in the stock market of intelligentsia and academia.
Thank you so much.
Matthias,
Martin, we don't have time. Next is the Voice of America. We have to go. Martin Colley, it's always a pleasure having him. He's a tough talking guy. He gets there. His conclusion is mostly always 5 minutes, so he goes into another time. My name is Matthias Lavini. Have yourselves a wonderful time.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said the Delta variant has increased from 2.7% of all cases in the U.S.